Have landlords lost their minds? My roommate moved out a few months ago, so I currently live in a 2-bed, 2-bath by myself. And the price that I am paying for rent for a 2-bed, 2-bath with 2 parking spaces is the same amount of money I would be paying for a studio in Los Angeles, California. I feel like our whole perspective is warped because I hear people talking about, oh, I found a studio for $2,000, what a good deal. I just can't even process what is happening with rent costs in LA and also around the whole country. How is anybody affording rent? How?
Y'all, so why I go to my leasing office today to renew my lease and they was telling me how my rent is going to increase by like $600. They ain't updated not nary appliance. They ain't changed not nary window pane. Well, I sure did walk my happy ass up in there to figure out what the hell is going on, because I could see if y'all maybe updated something, gave me some new shit. It's the same exact apartment I'll be living in. And y'all want like $600 more from me? I was born at night, but not last night. Y'all got me fucked up. And they're like, oh my gosh, we're so sorry. We don't know how that happened. Your rent's only gonna be increasing by about $40 a month. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, because I bet if I had not came in his leasing office, y'all wasn't gonna say shit. Y'all trifling and you wrong, you know it.
Yeah, I was just wondering if you had any 2 bedrooms available.
Yes, ma'am. We have some ready for move-in as early as Monday.
Alright, and how much do those go for?
$1,525 to $1,875.
How does it go from $1,500 to $1,800?
Depending on the phase that you apply for.
Okay, so like the older ones and the newer ones.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Alright, thank you. Well, now I know that it's raised for everyone, but that's ridiculous. That is way too much. And they're just raising the prices around here to get as much basic housing allowance from the military as possible, because we're right outside the base, and it only used to be $1,300 here. So why is it different now? People with money need more money, I guess. I guess that's what life is now. So I'm going to be looking for a new apartment soon. I'm already picking places where I want to live, and I'm going to have to get a different job. I'm going to have to uproot and just go, because it's too expensive here, and that's my plan.
So my lease ends in like 7 days, and I told this bitch I don't want to spend more than $2,200, and she was taking me up to this room, and she was like, oh my god, you're gonna love it. It's a 1-bedroom, it's $2,800, but it has a big balcony. Oh, it has a big balcony, bitch. Does it? Do you know what else is big? No? Okay, let me tell you what's not. The bank account, the budget, the credit score, the patience, bitch. Why don't you take the keys to Miss 2,800, not including parking and utilities, and shove it up here?
You want to know what's funny, right? The average cost of rent rose up from $2,000 to $3,000, right? And if you're supposed to make 3 times the amount of your rent in order to qualify to be able to rent a place, that means you have to make $9,000 a month, meaning you have to make over $90,000 a year, right? Come here. That means even if you were to make $25 an hour at your job, you still would not be able to afford to stay at a place by yourself. And people are saying, oh, we'll just get a roommate. Nobody likes roommates, and you can't even rely on the roommate to either come up with their half of the rent, and if anything, they're more of a liability. Putting their name on the lease is even more stressful. And notice how we're just talking about renting. We're not talking about getting a house, because virtually that's just impossible at this point. So yes, none of this is fun. Being an adult isn't fun.
Y'all know how back in the day they used to have rent parties to help somebody who was short on the rent or whatever. They all chip in a couple of dollars. People would come over. Baby, this why we don't do that. We can't do that, because everybody need help on their rent. Everybody need help on their rent. Shit, and that's how y'all know it should be a motherfucking problem.
I don't know if y'all saw that article where it talked about over 70,000 evictions have been filed in Atlanta, Georgia from this year, January, up until like now. And it just, one, made me grateful that I'm here surviving, but 2, it also made me realize like a lot of people are struggling behind closed doors, and it's just rough for everybody. Everybody's penny pinching, everybody's, denying themselves certain luxuries. Like, it's really, really hard out here, and who knows when it's gonna get better. I was talking to my friend and I was like asking her what she thought about it because she did leasing, and she was saying like there really does need to be some rental control here in Atlanta just alone, where it's just like a 1 bedroom 600 square feet is costing like $1,900 and people are being forced to pay it, and your safety is being questioned because it's just like, if I do take the whatever is the cheaper apartments now, which the cheaper apartments, shit, they ain't too cheaper price than the luxury apartments. So it just made me realize like, damn, like we're really living in some harsh times, and it sucks to be an adult around this time because it's like, damn, like you can't do anything out here. You can't find a car, can't find a decent job, you can't pay your wages. It's just like it's always something. So it's hard to stay positive when people are going through rough times like this, because I'm like, damn, if it's 72,000 evictions that's been happening since the beginning of this year, where are people gonna go? Atlanta is only about this big, so where are people going to relocate to? You know, your credit is fucked up. Like it's so sad, and maybe because of the weather, and I heard that, like I'm just feeling very darkish and grayish today, even though I want to be in a happy mood. But it just made me realize like I'm very thankful that I'm able to afford my lifestyle and everything that comes with it. I can't think of anything that I would want to get rid of to save me some money. And it's like, okay, if I get rid of my Netflix subscription, I'm saving what, $12 a month? It just wouldn't make any sense. So I don't know. I want to really say a quick prayer for like those people that are going through those rough times and being evicted. And you know, people lack empathy. Everybody thinks like, oh yeah, people just weren't paying their rent and buying Nike shoes. Everybody's situation wasn't like that. When you're in the hole, you'd be surprised how quickly you can become 1 month, 2 months, 3 months behind. Then you have credit cards, student loan debt. Like it's so much. Now student loans are about to resume. Like it's like, what do you want people to do? And so now people are choosing like, okay, car note or my rent. I need some place to stay. Like it's really, really, really sad. I don't know. I think people are saying like, oh, well, because of Biden and what Biden has done. And again, I don't know. I feel we're just going to leave that topic for another day, but something has to be done. And I think people are so against government assistance, but at times like this, it's really needed. You know, people want to be like, oh, you know, you shouldn't be on government assistance and no food stamps and no Section 8, no EBT. How do you expect people to survive? The people that don't even want to do that anyways, they don't want to be on Section 8. They don't want to get food stamps. But what are they going to do, starve? Because they don't want to get government assistance? So anyways, it was just saddening hearing all that, because I'm like, damn, families are really being displaced. And there's this narrative like people don't want to work. But it's not that people don't want to work. These jobs aren't really hiring. They're putting it that they're hiring people, but they're not. They'd rather work the 2 or 3 loyal people in the company and have them do the job of 8. And yeah, the people have to just stick it out because they need to pay their rent. Either way, it's just sad. And I think I really want to do a prayer, not only for myself, but for the people that, you know, people who are really going through it right now.
So I came across this. It says, this is the max rent you should be paying based upon your salary. Now, just so you guys know for reference, the average American makes about $49,000, which means your rent should be about $1,041. But here's the thing. The average of a 1-bedroom apartment in the United States right now is $1,700. That's damn near a 70% increase, okay? Now, one thing I am happy about is that the feds are suing certain rent companies for hiking up prices and gouging renters. That's a good thing. But ultimately, the rent is just too damn high. I know in California, we have a ballot measure that talks about rent control. And people are saying, you don't want to have rent control because builders will be too shy to build. Man, forget that. We need rent control because the rent is too damn high. And what I can clearly see is that a lot of major companies are taking advantage of people, hiking up the rent and trying to squeeze people. And that's just not cool. Everybody should be able to make a profit in the United States. But gouging your fellow countrymen ain't right. That's not cool. So I'm hoping that this bill in California passes and we can get some rental relief for people that need it in terms of capping what they can go up to after your lease is done.